Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this young man, he just moved recently. He just said to us about a month ago. He's also on the advisory council board for ACN, formerly known as the COC board. And I got in night how they did that. He's one of my favorite speakers. He's one of the greatest trainers. I love it when he trains and just talk to people, just tell them, have a fireside chat. But also, he also makes it so practical that because it's so practical, a lot of people just listen. But that little black book say BI Bill saying some basic instruction for leaving Earth. It says, you know what? You got to also implement it. You got to implement the things you hear from these leaders. So, without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to none other than the regional vice president, Dean Tarrolly.
What is up, Mr. Thomas? Good morning, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. Man, it's crazy what you just brought up. With your little bit of training there in the beginning, I'm telling you, man, it's like that's part of what I'm going to be covering today. So that is bananas that I should say should be really surprised, but maybe not when people are sort of operating on the same wavelength, right? So for those of you who don't know me and haven't been on this call before with me, let me just share with you. I always start by letting you guys know how unique I think this environment is, that you have an individual in Mr. Al Thomas, who's a senior vice president in our company, that he does not need to do this call. So I want to be really clear. He does not. He has done very well financially. He has built a huge organization. He's good. But when you have a leader who has those qualities, he can't not do this. Double negative, but he can't. Like, this is just part of who he is and what he does in creating an environment for everybody to win. Notice he didn't mention anything about teams or anything about geographic restrictions. Well, you're in that area, we don't really work that area. It doesn't matter. So when you have kind of an inclusive, inviting environment where you get to do something like this, I just think it really warrants being said, because it takes time, effort, and energy to do what he does. Him and Mr. Clemens and the other people that participate in this. So I don't take it for granted, and I hope you guys don't either. So Mr. T, good to see you. And I will see you on the beach. I'll be bringing my daughter. So Antonia and I are going to be down there. So that'll be fun. It'll be good to hang out for a minute. There's no way that Jack could come with the horses and the stuff up here. It's bananas, and we're still getting everybody acclimated. So anyway, enough of that. So I do have a couple of thoughts. So this is interesting this month, right? So because of our schedules, some travel and the like, I have not been on this call on Thursdays with Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas has not been able to be on these calls with us. There's been some business and traveling and in a plane and out of reception and all that stuff. But here's what I want you to know, right? This is a little bit off topic, but I want you to think about this for a second. Mr. Thomas has been running this call for a long time. Why do I know that? Because I've been doing it for a long time. But I want you to think about this. He was not available the last two out of the last 3 Thursdays. He was not available. Last week, I was not available. Let me ask you guys a question, right? Did the call still happen? Were people trained? Interesting. So this is a situation where it is not when the cat's away, the mice will play. It was not. Write this down. It was business as usual. Why? Because there's a system in place, right? Here's when we do the call. Here's how it works. Here's who's going to speak. Here's how the person is going to host. Here's how the person is going to end the call. There is a system in place. So I want you guys to think about this. If your business does not have the ability to grow without you, now look, for some of you, it's understandable. I mean, you're brand new. You're a month, 2 months into the business. But the purpose of this is to develop leaders and develop people that are capable of being able to do what we do, so your business can, in fact, grow without you. And when it grows without you, here's what that means. It doesn't mean it grows without you and you don't do anything. What it means is it grows without you, and now you start another team, you start another group, you start another leg, you start another organization, and now we're really in business, right? The McDonald's brothers, they started that when when McDonald's started to get franchised, right? Right. When they started to franchise, Ray Kroc, when they started to franchise this, he didn't stop at 2, right? You guys, we can't get to enough people fast enough. So what does that mean for you? You have that exact same ability, right? I heard years ago, you get to put up MIC utilities all over the country, right? You could have people in Texas, you could have people in California, you could have people in Washington, you could have people in Illinois, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, New York, Alabama, right? That's what I heard earlier, right? Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, why not? New Hampshire, right? New Mexico, why not? So you guys, there's so many people out there. Here's a question for you. Do you need everyone? Do you need everyone? You don't need everyone. You need a few who can tell a few. And next thing you know, you've got a massive organization building. But there's a few things that we're going to have to go over to see if that can happen for you. Because let me rephrase that. Not that if it can happen, will it happen for you? Because can it happen? Of course, it can happen for anybody. And it's funny. Here go my notes. It can happen for anybody that chooses it. See, even right now, you guys, I don't know how focused people are or not. I can see the people who are on the screen, right? People that are driving or doing whatever. I'm hoping that you're concentrating. I hope this isn't just like, this is not intended to be, a feel good lip service, hear this thing and go off and do your regular life. This is meant to do something to advance and move your businesses forward. So we have some choices. Here we go. This is going to feel a little bit, second, third grade for a minute, but just bear with me. Cause as you guys know, give me till the end and it'll all make sense. Right? So you have some choices. Here you go. Sit or stand. Stop or go. Move or stay. Smile or frown. Go to the gym, stay home. Grab a second dessert and just have one. Big choices, right? How about this? Am I going to talk to this person? Am I not? So fear, right? You guys know the acronym, right? False evidence appearing real. Fear. And the overwhelming majority of things that we ever fear never come to pass. So if that's the case, how many of you have ever done something in your life where maybe you were a little fearful, you had some anxiety about it? Could be anything. Could be a doctor's appointment, could be, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. It could be anything. But you had some fear, you had some trepidation, concern, anxiety. You had these things about something that you were going to do, someplace you had to go, someone you had to meet, any of those things. You guys have all experienced that in life, yes or no? Okay, me too. Me too. All right, we're in the same boat. So then here's the second part of that question. How many of you, after you did the thing, met the person, had the appointment, it was nowhere near what you thought it would be? And you're like, that's it. This is what I was all bent out of shape about. This is what I was all worried about. This is what I was all, come on, give me a break, right? Our mind is a very powerful thing. And we can set things in motion, right, by our thoughts and how we look at something. So I just want you guys to think about this as you go through your day and you're in that I hope for your business that you understand how important it is to be in phase one, personally peaking, personally recruiting, personally just getting people curious, right? Here's why people like Mr. Thomas are senior vice presidents and they continue to produce at that position. I heard him say, before he introduced me, I heard him say, I'm talking to these people I'm peaking, these people, I'm talking to those people. Does it mean they're going to join? No, we may not want them to join. Does it mean they're going to get started? No, that's not a guarantee. But you know what? Now the option exists. And I want to be crystal clear. If you guys go from day to day, where you get up in the morning and your head hits the pillow at night. If you go through a day like that and you have talked to no one, you should not expect your business to grow. It is not fair for you to expect your business to grow because your team will do what you did, right? Don't ask me how that works. Don't ask me why it works. But it's crazy when you start to do something in your own personal business. Do not be freaking surprised if someone on your team is doing the exact same thing you were doing. Don't be surprised. Why does that happen? I have no idea. It's way out of my pay grade, but it does happen. Also, you should expect this. If you let a day go by and you're like, oh, I'm so busy. Got the family, got the work, got my husband, got my wife, got my this, got the kids. You don't understand. You should expect that to be what happens in your team, right? And when you break the mentality of those chains, and in spite of the things you have going on in your life, you make the extra stop. You stop at the sports bar, not to go out and drink, to maybe sit, you're at the sports bar, you grab a soda, a water, you're watching the game, you start to build a little rapport with someone. Going back and stop back at that place, or maybe at your favorite restaurant, or maybe the manager that works at a store that you should have been talking to, and you finally stop and go, man, Cindy, I can't believe this. Like I owe you an apology. What apology do you owe me? Well, I got started. I'm working on a business project and I have so much respect for you. And I have not brought this up to you. Would you do me a favor? Would you give me 5 minutes just to hear what's going on? I got to run this by you. I can't get your name out of my head. Like, you guys, could everybody do that? Yes or no? Are you paying Cindy or whoever that person is? Are you paying that person a compliment? Yes or no? Now Now it goes back to what I first said. Stop or go, sit or stand, move or stay. You're driving home and there's her store. Oh, there's cars in the parking lot. Oh, I caught the red light. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Right? But someone's going to go, you know what? That's it. I can't hear Dean talk about this anymore. I am doing that today. I'm going to open my mouth and pique the interest, create some curiosity for some people today. That's it. And if you do that and you do it consistently, do you guys understand? I don't know how to break this to you, so it's going to come as a shock. But do you guys understand that that not everyone says no? But look, you're on this call. You're in the business. You have the vision. You want this to work for you. That is a question we have to attack now. Do you want this to work for you? Do you really want this to work for you? And to what degree do you want this to work for you? So here you go, guys. Right, like literally, I'm telling you right out of my notes. When you find something that has meaning to you, when you find something that has meaning to you, how do you take care of it? When you find someone that has meaning to you, how do you take care of them? How do you treat them? Family member, friend, business partner, whatever. So you can say that something has meaning to you because guess what? Anybody can say that something has meaning to them. My question is, how do you show it? What are you, what's the word? What are you doing? What are you doing? Getting customers, piquing interest, attending events, but rearranging life in your schedule to make sure you stay plugged in, that you stay plugged in long enough till this thing, till you just get it, or someone on your team just gets it. And now you have activity that leads to momentum. And all of a sudden we're having a different conversation about you and your business and the production that's happening out of it. So you can say something has importance and meaning, but where the rubber meets the road is, how do you show it? Right? Is there always something? Are you always the person that's on a few minutes late, has to leave a few minutes early? Are you always the person that makes a big deal out of coming to an event? Like, we have this Tahoe event coming up. Mr. Thomas has been someone, hey man, I'm coming to Tahoe. Well, you know what? I kind of expect that out of the leaders. And guess what I also understand is that there's going to be some sacrifices. I got to take a couple of days off of work, I have to travel, got a plane ticket, whatever. Yeah, but what you get is going to so far exceed what it cost you to be there. And I'm not even talking about financially. The arrangements you have to make. Why would we ask you to do? Yes, think about this as a leader. Think about this. You're a leader, you want to develop leaders, and you have leaders like Mr. Thomas. I want you guys to really ask yourself this question. Why? What reason would we ever have to give you bad advice? How would that ever serve us? We're in a business of duplicating leaders. We're only going to tell you what works. We're only going to show you the roadmap, the GPS, the guidance to get you where you want to go. And in fact, we want to help you do it faster than we did. We want to help develop those skills in you faster than we developed them. Because that's a win for everybody. That's the opposite of traditional business in corporate America. And when you understand that, all of a sudden it's like, man, I got to just take this leap of faith. Look, you guys, you've heard me say this for years. For those of you who've been on as long as I've been doing Al's call, please write this down. This covers so much of what ACN is. Please write the following statement down. I'm asking you, right? Write it down. Opportunity is inconvenient. You will be inconvenienced in your run to the position you have set out to hit as a goal. Opportunity is inconvenient. So check this out. You guys have all heard that conversation, right? Of, oh, this is just a dream. This doesn't work. We've all heard that stuff. That's all nonsense, right? But I will tell you this. I had a guy. I was just talking about this on a call yesterday with one of our business partners, great guy in Ohio, named Jelani. And I was in a conversation with him, and we were talking to some of his leaders, or I should take that back, some of his new people that are looking at the business, future leaders for sure. And I was talking about a PBR that I had done years ago. And a guy in there said, in front of a group of people, here's what he said. He goes, man, I know what you're doing. I said, what am I doing? Because I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing to all these people. What am I doing to all these people? He goes, you're just selling them a dream. You are selling them a dream. And he kind of turned the room on me a little bit. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I say, first of all, everybody was like, yeah, man, it kind of seems like. I'm like, okay, everybody relax for a second. Everybody relax. Your friend over there who said that, he's right. 100%. I'm totally selling you a dream. So here's something I want you all to know. You're either going to get paid to build someone else's dream, or you'll find a way to build your own. And then all the people in the room turn around and look at the guy and goes, yeah, man, why don't you shut the up? It was just funny. It was great. It's like, so this guy was he was a pin in a balloon factory. He was like trying to out you, like, you're not going to outsmart the person in front of the room. Like, this is what we do. So are we in the dream building business? You better believe it. What's your dream? I have no idea. I don't know all of you, but I do know this. If you have a vehicle that can help you get those dreams, well, now you're on your way. So guess what most people's vehicle is? Job, boss, limited hours, limited income potential, because there's only so many hours in a day, or you can only work so hard for so long. But then you see a business like this and you go, well, wait a minute. Unlimited income. I can build a team anywhere. There's an unlimited number of people that can join. I can help people. I have a system to duplicate this out. This is crazy. I need to start paying this the attention that it deserves and stop confusing this with $299 and $25 a month. That's ridiculous. Any traditional business owners on the call? Anybody who's a traditional business owner? Brick and mortar traditional business owner? Great. Yeah, there's a few of you on here. I already know. I can answer for you. I know your business costs more than $299. I know it, and I know it costs more than $25 a month to run. As one of my RDs, Jim Emanuele, would say, you go, man, you just had a hallelujah breakdown if that's all it cost. That's ridiculous, right? So let me jump back into this for a second before we wrap up. Okay, so I want you guys to understand this. You cannot go. This is what Al said before the call. This is what tripped me out. Listen. You cannot go where you say you want to go by doing what you're doing. What you're doing got you to where you're at. You guys, this would be, I hope, would be worth the whole call. You cannot go where you say you want to go doing what you're doing. You have to alter that to take the next step. You know, Greg Provenzano years ago, he said, magnify your efforts or modify your dreams. I never forgot that. You got to magnify your efforts or modify your dreams. Well, listen, I hope you would choose magnify. I hope you would choose magnify my efforts, make my efforts bigger, make my efforts more consistent, make my efforts more effective, more efficient. How do you do that? You got to get trained, right? Like you got to have the skill set. You got to have the tools in the toolbox. Magnify your efforts or modify your dreams, right? So understand that our business and getting, you guys, here's what's standing between you and the next position you want. Here's what's standing between you and regional director, regional vice president, senior vice president. Here's what it is. Ready? Do you want it for everybody? Do you guys want the answer? Okay, perfect. Here's what it is. Ready? It's very complicated. Here goes. Write this down. The answer to all of my questions and challenges in ACN is talking to people. That's it. Talking to people. Talking to people. And then you put them through the system. And when you're talking to them, you're figuring out, you're doing a diagnosis. Is this person a positive, open-minded person or not? You're not going to spend much time with the negative, skeptical person. You're going to spend time with the positive, open-minded person. You're on a talent search, right? You're an NFL scout. Tonight's the draft. Everybody's freaked out about the draft. Everybody's excited about the draft. I'm a football fan. I'm excited to see who's going where. But you want to know what? You guys, these teams spend millions of dollars to research and sort through this pool of players to see not only who's the best at their position, but who's the best fit for them. If they would do that there, why wouldn't we do that here? Like, that's crazy. You get to draft people. You're paying them a compliment. And here's the kind of putting a bow on this thing. You have to have emotional maturity in this process. You have to have emotional maturity. You cannot get caught up in people's responses. You know, the one thing I would tell you this, if somebody tells you, I don't care if somebody says no, but if somebody starts to knock what you're doing and they haven't seen what we're doing, you guys have to end that conversation. Like, how can you review a movie you haven't seen? How can you review a restaurant you've never eaten the food? Man, those burgers are terrible. Well, how do you know those burgers are terrible? Have you ever been there? No, but I went to that burger place. How you'd be like, dude, you've lost your mind. Are you drunk? How can you say that restaurant's bad and you're talking about another restaurant? Are you crazy? Well, you know, burgers are. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, I know these businesses. I did a thing and never made any money, and people tried to get me in, and it was like one of those things. Who's heard that nonsense? That line of nonsense. You guys have to have a little emotional maturity and not get caught up in their response and say, listen, man, you know, when somebody says that to me, I'm like this. Hey, come here, give me a hug. I'm gonna give you a hug. Somebody hurt you. That's not us, and that's not this. That's not us, and that's not this. Right? What I do, listen, here goes. Have emotional maturity. Do not get caught up in their responses. I want you to get caught up in the number of people you get curious in a day. That's what I want you to get caught up in. I want you to get caught up in the numbers. I want you to get caught up in the number of people that you talk to. You do that, you're on your way. Why do I say that? Because not everyone says no, which means some people say yes. And now you have a person to invite and introduce them to the leader that you are working with. And here's the last question, you guys, were the two last things. Like, where are you going to be by the national? Like, where are you going to be by Cleveland? Oh, Cleveland. We're talking about Cleveland. Like, I don't have any production. By the way, that may be a telltale sign you need to get your butt to Cleveland, right? You know, and before that, a lot of people on our team are going to be in Lake Tahoe, and we're going to be there in 2 weeks. So you guys, I'm just going to show you the flyer so you know, because I want you to know the people that are going to be there and the training that we're going to do is going to be outstanding. And I'm just going to put my email in the chat. You guys can email me if you have an interest in this as the rooms are wrapped up. And the event is, dude, this, if you want, there it is down at the bottom. If you guys want momentum leading into that event, I would just encourage you. I would encourage you to reach out to me, get the information on this thing. So, so you know what's up. So here you go. Very simple. It is a Wednesday evening, 5 to 9, Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we check out of the hotel on Friday, May 10th. Now, so it is May 8th, May 9th, May 10th. So I want you guys to hear this. Very simple. It is all the information. It is going to be a room, resort, all of those things all combined. Email me. I will get you the information. The location is amazing. It's absolutely stunning. And you're going to have a couple of senior vice presidents and Jeff Weber and Mr. Efren Tejada. You're going to have a gentleman who broke every record in our company, Mr. Mike Basuti, and you're going to have co-founder of ACN, Tony Kupas there. It is going to be bananas. Why do I think that this is so important? Because we teach the stuff that can't be taught at a Saturday training, at a national. This is no suits, no ties, sweats, jeans, t-shirts, and it is role playing, and it is questions and answers, and it is the playbook, right? So there you go. So now everybody knows. They can't say that they didn't know. So perfect. You guys, here's what I do know, and here's what I can tell you. When you have a team of people, including yourself, that is trained, educated, prepared, they have vision, and they have the tools with which to use to build and advance their business, really big things will happen. Because now what you're doing is you are now becoming a part-time professional. And what happens a lot of times, you guys, people look for professional money with amateur skills, and that's really hard. You have amateur skills. Don't be looking for professional money, and do not expect professional money. But if you start to get professional skills, two very important things happen. Number one, there is a level of confidence that you start to have that you will in fact talk to anybody. The second thing that's going to happen for you, what used to take an hour will take you 10 minutes. Because now you're becoming a professional, and the things that took a lot longer to accomplish don't take as long right now, because you have learned the skills. Like, oh, I remember this. We learned this on Mr. Thomas's call. We learned this in Tahoe. Oh man, they said that someone was going to say this, and you have the answer right there. That person now becomes afraid not to follow you because you know what you are doing. So what's the goal with all of this, you guys? It's very simple. We are in the business of getting you a result. We are in the business of getting you proof and evidence that the system that we have and the business that you're doing part-time works. And that's why we're here.